Simmons with Towns. Here's Horford. Blocked on the play. Wow, and look at this. Whoa! And Bede going at it with Karl Anthony Towns.
Wait, hold on a second. Let's rewind that. Is that who I think it is? Let's zoom in a little bit. The guy right there. Okay, I know the footage is extremely blurry and it's kinda hard to make out exactly who that is, but trust me, that's M. Night Shyamalan. And if that name doesn't necessarily ring a bell, here's a closer look, and maybe you might recognize him. And if you're still unfamiliar with who he is, M. Night is a famous movie director, particularly in the horror movie genre. He's made some of the most popular thrillers in the last 20 years, like The Sixth Sense, Signs, The Village, and The Visit, just to name a few. And the reason I'm so positive that is absolutely him is because every time I watch a Sixers game, me and my brother always notice him in the front row. And no, I'm not from Philadelphia. I just always look for him in the crowd every time the Sixers play on national TV. And he never fails to be right there in the same exact spot. But I am from Portland, Oregon. And just the other night, the Sixers were in town facing the Portland Trail Blazers. And although M. Night Shyamalan obviously wasn't at this game, there was something that happened that reminded me of him. You see, M. Night Shyamalan is famously known for having a shocking twist in each and every one of his movies, which has you on the edge of your seat. Now, I don't want to spoil anything for you in these movies, so I highly recommend you check out some of his work sometime. Anyways, I was watching the Blazers-Sixers game last week, and me being a huge Blazer fan, I was very happy near the end of the game because Anthony Simons knocked down a clutch shot to give Portland the lead, leaving barely any time left for Philly. So of course, I thought we had this game in the bag, considering there was only enough time to maybe get a good shot off. But then this happened.
Simmons, Korkmaz for three. Yes! Wow! Burke on Korkmaz, still 4/10 of a second to go.
Yeah, that was totally unexpected. It just happened so quick. I mean, yeah, players do win games at the last second all the time, but I didn't really think he was gonna hit that shot. I thought to myself, yes, we won the game. All we have to do is defend for like 2 seconds and we're walking out of here with the victory. What are the odds we lose this game? But then Korkmaz turns around and does this. So after sitting there for a while, trying to recover from a broken heart, I was hit with this brilliant idea. Well, at least I hope it's brilliant.
Crap.
Suddenly, a light bulb went off in my head. How about I do a video showing NBA plot twists? You know, when you think one thing is gonna happen, but then suddenly, something totally unexpected occurs. Kinda like M. Night Shyamalan movies. So that's what we're gonna be taking a look at today. So let's begin. March 9th, 2009, Miami hosting Chicago. The score tied at 127, double overtime. It's been a long game. I'm sure the fans are anxious to go home, and so are the players. With the ball in John Salmon's hands, and about 5 seconds left, it looked like the Bulls were gonna get the last possession of the game. And like I said, it's a tie ball game, so there was no pressure. All he had to do was let the clock run out and his team either wins or they go to a third overtime. But Dwayne Wade wasn't really in the mood to play another 5 minutes and would give us an ending that took everyone by surprise.
Not a good matchup right here for the Heat.
Salmon, Wade with a steal, with 2. Wade puts it up for the win.
Oh, baby!
He did it! He did it! Dwayne Wade with the steal and the game winner!
Do you believe that?
One of the great moments, one of the great plays made by one of the game's greatest players. Can you do any more than Dwayne Wade has done?
Now here we have an example of a player who was in the mood for some overtime. It was March 30th, 2007, Washington versus Toronto. With the Wizards up by 1, Gilbert Arenas heads to the line to shoot a pair of free throws. If he makes both, it would put them in a safe position with a very high chance of winning this game. Good. You made both. Now just get a stop and the game is yours.
Got it. No timeouts for Toronto. They go the length of the court. Rough and
Oh, nice. You got a steal. Now just wait for them to foul you and then ice the game at the line.
it away.
Or just throw the ball up in the air. I guess that'll work. You're still in pretty good shape.
And no! Not possible! Not possible!
Okay, Michael Ruffin, let's talk for a sec. What the hell were you thinking? Just hold on to the ball and you inevitably win the game. Now you have to head into overtime after giving the Raptors a new life, which you end up losing the game. Just wow. So this next one isn't really a spectacular play or anything like that, but it does have a surprising twist. It was January 2006. Here we have a situation involving Morris Peterson again. You know, the guy who just hit that insane shot in the last clip. But in this one, the next 15 seconds are about to completely catch him off guard.
They have missed 6 free throws the Nets have. And I mean, this is tailor-made right now. And now what do we have? Is Peterson? What do we have?
He just got tired.
Yes, he did.
He would not stop talking to Steve Javy.
And Noah's taking off his jersey, he's thrown it into the crowd. Well, the NBA office is going to get a hold of this too.
Alright, at first glance, it looks like Vince Carter playfully slaps Mo Pete in the face, and then out of nowhere, he is the one getting ejected, not Vince. Well, it turns out, there is a simple explanation. You see, in this angle, you can see Peterson quickly slap Vince immediately after the initial one. But unfortunately for him, official Steve Javy didn't see Vince make the first move. He claims he only saw Peterson slap and didn't want things to escalate, so he decided to nip it in the butt right there and eject Peterson, since that was his second technical of the game anyway. As Mo was heading back to the locker room, Vince Carter actually attempts to convince the referee to give him a break and reverse the call, and he took the blame for what happened, but by then it was too late. November 24th, 2007, Celtics vs Bobcats. It was the first year of the Boston Big Three. Coming into that game, the Celtics were the hottest team in the league. They were 10-1 going into that night, but the Bobcats were clawing them all night, giving them a hard time. Near the end of the game, Charlotte was up by 2 with 16 seconds left. It was a must-score situation for Boston. Paul Pierce, with the ball in his hands, was looking to take over. He attempts to tie the game with a mid-range shot, but it doesn't go down, giving a reason for the entire arena to begin celebrating. Of course, the Celtics immediately foul, but it turns out they're not quite over the limit yet, which forces the Bobcats to inbound the ball again. And this is where they would make a critical mistake. They chose not to call a timeout, which would have allowed them to advance the ball to their side. But they must have felt like it wasn't really necessary, and ultimately came back to haunt them, leading to an unexpected finish that no one saw coming.
Bobcats ball! Pass deflected by Eddie House, picked off by Pierce. Ray Allen for the game! Got it! At the buzzer! Oh, boy. Look at those Bobcats. They're laying on the floor. Improbable. And Ray Allen, who had great difficulty finding the
May 24th, 2004. Eastern Conference Finals, Pistons vs Pacers. It was game 2 of the series. Indiana won the first game, so if they get this win, then they're that much closer to advancing to the NBA Finals. But Tayshaun Prince would literally put his body on the line to prevent that from happening. With about 40 seconds left, Detroit up 2, the Pistons failed to score down low, which led to the ball traveling all the way to the other end of the court. Billups retrieves the ball, but has little time left on the shot clock, so he has to act fast, but ends up getting stripped. It looks like the Pacers have a wide open layup on a silver platter ready for them to tie the game. But something, or should I say someone, comes completely out of nowhere.
Reggie Miller! and it's blocked again. Oh. What a block! How did Prince get there? What a block! I didn't think it was any way possible for him to get this shot. He's 10 rows into the crowd. I'll tell you what, he laid out his entire body for this play. Tayshaun Prince right here. I mean, he's way up here. Look at the difference. There is no way he should be able to get to this shot. No way. Wow. He just laid it out.
March 26, 2007, a regular season matchup between Denver and Detroit. With the possession belonging to the Nuggets, up by 3, with only a second and a half left, all they had to do was get the ball to any Nuggets player and hold the ball until time expires. But the Pistons were looking for one last Hail Mary attempt, and they got it.
And Rasheed from long range.
Oh!
Yes! Yes!
Oh!
Yes! Yes! She sticks it off glass as time runs out.
You know, he practices those.
He does. And this crowd is electric.
The date was December 9th, 2004. The Rockets were hosting the Spurs. Throughout the game, it just looked like another typical Texas showdown between the two teams. Just a pretty average game on TNT. With just about under a minute left in the game, Houston found themselves trailing by 10 points. It didn't really look like the Rockets had a chance to come back. I mean, situations where you're down double digits with under a minute left usually means you better throw in the towel. Even some of the fans called it quits. You can see plenty of empty seats in the building towards the end of the game. But you do gotta let the clock hit double zeros before you call it a night. Right here, Yao Ming gets a putback dunk off of McGrady's miss. Then shortly after, they get a steal for an easy layup. But still, at this point, it looks like a long shot. I'm sure Greg Popovich wants to hurry up and get out of there, so why make him even more angry than he already is? But they continue to foul anyways, putting the Spurs at the line, just making the night even longer for the TNT crew. But if you're one of those people who loves a great plot twist, then this is the one for you.
Popovich obviously upset with Manu.
Here's McGrady for 3. Rally by 7. Rockets looking for a quick shot. Bowen is all over McGrady. Foul is picked up. A-point play. Barrett can't find anybody. They have no timeouts remaining. Finally gets it in to McGrady. McGrady over Bowen for 3. Yes! Yes! Tracy McGrady. Trying to make things difficult for Brett Barry. Gets it in. Kevin Brown lost it. Here comes McGrady. No timeouts remaining. McGrady for the win. Yes! 1.7 to go. San Antonio with no timeouts. Here's Parker and the Rockets steal a game from the Spurs. Tracy McGrady with an incredible performance down the stretch, including a 4-point play.
May 26th, 1987, Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Pistons vs Celtics, another epic game within this heated rivalry. With the series tied up 2-2, Boston down by 1 late in the game, Larry Bird jives to the basket in an attempt to gain the lead, but gets his shot swatted out of there. And to make matters even worse, the ball went off of the Celtics, so the possession was rewarded to Detroit, who already had the lead, with only seconds left. Both teams were in panic mode. Who would be the one to make it out alive? Everyone in the building thought that it was more than likely over, but the legend himself would not go down without a fight, giving us one of the craziest change of events of all time.
And now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right at 1 second left. What a play by Bird. Bird stole the inbounding pass. Laid it up to DJ. DJ laid it up and in. And Boston has a 1-point lead with 1 second left. Oh my, this place is going crazy.
2004 Western Conference Semifinals between the San Antonio Spurs and the LA Lakers. It was Game 5, with the series tied 2 games apiece. The Spurs, down by 1 with 5 seconds left, had to make something happen quick.
To Duncan. He gets doubled. Shaq all over him. He gets away, a fadeaway. He makes it with 4:10 left. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Wow.
If you were one of those people who watched this game live on television, then you have to admit that you thought the game was over. I mean, with only 4/10 of a second left, most people didn't even think it was possible to get a shot off. But just out of pure standard procedure, they had to at least let them try, which resulted in an unbelievable ending.
Here they go. They get it to Fisher. He scores! Derek Fisher scores at the buzzer. It'll have to be reviewed. They'll review it. They'll review it. The Lakers are going to run to the dressing room and they'll try to get on the plane before the officials can get over to the scorer's table.
May 7th, 1995. Reggie Miller found his Pacers down by 6 with just under 20 seconds left. Knicks fans had to have been feeling good about the score, but instead of heading home with a victory, they had to leave Madison Square Garden completely stunned.
The record for both teams in a playoff game. Miller for 3, and he got it. Reggie Miller with a clutch tray, and it's 105-102. And a steal. Miller retreats to the three-point line and hits again.
Tie game.
Anthony stumbles and falls. Time runs out. Reggie Miller scoring 8 points in the final 32 seconds. Taunting Spike Lee and 19,000 at Madison Square Garden.
November 6th, 2008. Rockets at Trailblazers. In what was a gritty game between the two ball clubs. With just under 20 seconds left in overtime, the score tied at 96, Tracy McGrady tells everyone to get out of his way to finally put this game to rest, but it doesn't connect. Then, immediately after, Brandon Roy gets a hold of the ball and shows him how it's done.
Down to 3. Here's Roy. To go. In overtime. Houston calls for time.
With 1.9 seconds left, it looked like Roy might have sealed the game for the Blazers, but Yao Ming certainly had something to say about that.
Span defending on the inbound. Alston gets it in. Here's Yao Ming with a fadeaway. He's tied the game with 0.8 of a second remaining.
So with Yao Ming hitting a tough fadeaway and also getting the and one, leaving only 0.8 of a second left, I was almost tempted to turn off my TV and go to bed. But let's just say I'm glad I didn't.
Here's Blake to Roy. This is for the win. Roy with a 3-3 on the Blazers. I beat the Rockets in overtime. They will review it. It appeared that he got it off on time, but we'll have to check out the video.
Alright guys, so that was proof that movies are not the only ones with shocking plot twists. Now I know there's plenty more plays that could have been in this video, but I figured that this was long enough. Okay, thanks so much for watching guys. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe.